बीजापूरगदेक्षुकार्मुकुरजाब्चक्राब्जपाशोत्फल व्रयग्रस्वपिशानरत्नकलशैः प्रोद्यत्कराम्भोरुवः ध्येयो वल्लभया सपद्मकरया आश्लिष्टोज्ज्वलद्भूषया विश्वोत्पत्तिविपत्तिसंसतिकरो विघ्नेश इष्टार्ददा श्रीनाथादिगुरुत्रयं गणपतिं पीठत्रयं भैरवम् सिद्धं वटुकत्रयं पदयुगं धूतीक्रमं मण्डलम् वीरान्ध्यष्टचतुष्कषष्टिनवकं वीरावळी पञ्चकम् श्रीमन्मालिनीमन्त्रराजितं वन्दे गुरोर्मण्डलम् माधर्मे मधुकैटभग्निमहिषः प्राणापहारोद्यमे हेला निर्मितधूम्रलोचनवदे हे चण्डमुण्डर्दिनी निःशेषीकृतरक्तबीजदनुजे नित्ये निशुम्भापहे शुम्भध्वंसनि संहर सुदुरितन् दुर्गे नमस्तेऽम्बिके सर्वं श्रीचण्डी महालक्ष्मी श्रीपादुकां पूजयामि तर्पयामि नमः सद्गुरुं श्रीपादुकां पूजयामि तर्पयामि नमः. Welcome all of you for the second session on the Kashi Mahatmyam. Today we are going to specifically talk about the Kashi Nagaram in relation to the Pitrus actually. And when we talk about the Pitrus, that is our departed forefathers of our family lineage, we always have a deep, what is called as a connectivity, the blood connectivity with the body and the soul, actually. So before I start with today's class, I would like you all for a 10 minutes to pray thinking about all the departed souls actually, whether they were related to your life or they were not related to your life directly in terms of blood, and including, if I would say, like including if you had some pets, if you had any, anybody who was very faithful, anybody who was dear, you think about them and you pray actually. Then I will explain the Pitrus and all the other things related to Kashi. For 10 minutes, let us do this, and then I will start with the class. Please pray for them. You can relax and meditate and take the nama of Devi, that this is a prarthana for them, for their well-being, whichever world they are traveling and however they are, their lives should be smooth and they should get into the next transitions and it should go in the nice dimensions. So please pray for them for 10 minutes and then I'll start with the lecture. Shri Kashi Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. You can all come back to the class. Open your eyes. Okay. So yesterday we concluded the class by saying the three important blessings or the instructions that were laid to Chitragupta and Yamadharma Raja about the importance of not just Kashi, but also the devotees of Bhairavar, how they are protected in terms of the Rudraksha Mahima, in terms of the Nama Mahima, and also last, the Kashi Mahima, how these three are very important, we saw. And moving further, Bhairavar is explaining that the Ganga that flows in Kashi, in the Devaloka, it is called to be Mandakini. And in the Patala Loka, it is called to be Bhagirathi. And in Bhuloka, it is called to be Ganga. Since it is the Nadi, that is the celestial river, which is flowing in all the three lokam, in the Devalokam, in the Bhulokam, and in the Patala Lokam, it is having the powers, particularly when it is in the Bhulokam, in the Kashi Kshetram, it has the powers to cleanse all the 7 janmas papa karma of an individual. And it adds to the process of what is called as liberation. It adds to the process of the next janma, taking the next janma, the next body, it nullifies actually. Ganga acts as a nullified, it nullifies the reactions of what is called as the papam and punyam, particularly when it is all about talking about the papam. And how Ganga Mata is able to do this is it is the powers specifically that is there in the Kashi Kshetram actually. And when we talk about the powers of Kashi Kshetram, it is all about Bhairava. It is under the instructions of Bhairavar that Ganga is having this pravaham in Kashi. Ganga Snanam itself is a Punya Snanam. Ganga has the powers to what is called as, to get rid of, all the Papa karmas. And generally, any Nadi Snanam is considered to remove our Papa karmas. Particularly, they have a cleansing on our Papa karma. But this Ganga, see, when we talk about Ganga as a concept, there is two things which is very important for us to understand, students. One, Ganga per se as the river, and other, in an extended idea or the argument, Ganga as a Shakti itself. So the term Ganga as a Shakti is present in all the Punya Nadi. That's the reason, even in the South India, we are very far away from Ganga, but on the Deepavali, we say Ganga Snanam only actually. So, like this debate, like why are these are not, is Kaveri not Punya Nadi that it cannot be called as Ganga? Why we have to specifically say it as Ganga Snanam, not Kaveri Snanam? It's not like that actually. Ganga is that Shakti actually. Avirbhava Shakti. Avirbhava Shakti means what? That the tattva lakshanam that is there in Ganga, that cleansing, Ganga means cleansing. Ganga means that something that can, that has the very powerful potential of removing or dissolving the karmas that we are carrying since time immemorial, actually. And this, very specifically in Kashi Kshetram, it has of a paradigm in that space, though it is flowing in different places, geographically it is flowing in different places, but specifically in Kashi, it has some kind of a very important potency. The potency is very high there. And as it flows in different places, still the potency is there. There is no doubt. But the speciality, that speciality is something very important in Kashi. There was this somebody who was talking about me, my students. I heard my students talking last year because I'm giving an example to this. Guruji is like good in all the subjects he can speak, but he's specialized in Durga, actually. You understand? So everything he knows, but he is special in, I mean, when I heard this, I was understanding, oh, people can think about these things in me. I never thought why I'm special. I didn't even think about that actually, whether I'm special in Durga or Sri Vidya or Kala Bhairava or XYZ, because like it's all that. But you see that the kind of that outlook that comes in the work that we do actually. So similarly, Ganga, the work Ganga Mata does in Kashi, that becomes very specific to that kshetram actually. That is the what we call in simple terms the kshetra shakti actually. The kshetra shakti is very important there actually. And that's kshetra shakti is coming where? Through the collaboration of, with the collaboration of Kala Bhairava Swami. Very specifically. And as I told you, Ganga Avirbhavam, Ganga Shakti is there in all the Nadi. It's a broader terminology. It is not that we are bringing Ganga as a concept, that river as a concept here. No, it is a Shakti Tattva that is present in every Nadi, including that water dispenser which is there in your house actually. If you really think Ganga is there present, Ganga will be present there actually. It's only the bhav actually. You understand what I'm trying to say? That is very important for us to, that bhav is what is very important. What is our bhav and how much of purity we have associated with that bhav, that invokes that Shakti. And that Shakti is utilized in terms of rituals or meditation or XYZ, whatever we wanted to do actually. Got it? So with this understanding, the one who is going to take bath, we will be looking into Ganga Pravaham in the Kashi Mahima much more in detail. But this is what Bhairavar himself is declaring to both Yamadharmaraja and Chitragupta, that if the one who has done this kind of an activity in their lifetime, at least once he is saying, Bhairavar is saying, if at least once they land up doing this, they come with this realization, or they come with this bhakti, or they come with this jnana, this knowledge about Ganga, Kashi, me, and Kashi Vishwanatha and everything, and take a sankalpam about their life, about the concept of well-being, about the traveling of this soul from this body to the next. They come and take a sankalpam and perform a snanam and then do the worship in whatever ways it is prescribed, then definitely they have what is called as special provisions to move to the next dimensions of life, and that should not be denied to them. That instruction which Kala Bhairava Swami is giving to both Yamadharma Raja and Chitragupta, and that because of this instruction that was received by Yamadharma Raja and Chitragupta, that's the reason the Kashi is considered to be a very important pilgrimage or a yatra for each one of us, even till date actually. Either you are in the north or south or wherever you are, at least we have this desire, ek baar Kashi chale jayenge, one time let's go to Kashi. Which is a very important dimension actually. And this is associated, this aspect is associated with what is called as our Pitrus. It is for you. So the first thing is that you realize it and you do it for yourself. I mean, your journey, you know about what is your journey and how you wanted your journey. You have a prayer for that, you have a request for that, and you have a vision for the journey for your life and the afterlife. And also there is a subtle responsibility about what is called as the people who were involved in your life actually. And this is what is called as Runanubandhan actually. Technically called as Runanubandhan. And to get over this Runanubandhan is not that easy, students. Kashi becomes the bridge to get over this Runanubandhan actually. Unless and until we will be not able to get over this bridge, This is also one of the primary qualifications for us to reach Shripuram. Unless and until we will not smoothly get over this bridge. Let me tell you, smoothly is a very important word. Just because of the reason I don't like my parents or I didn't like my grandparents or XYZ, I cannot simply say that my relationship is cut off with them actually. We all have difference of opinion with everybody. At the end of the day, whether we like or not like, they are our family, they are our parents, and it has come in that dimension. So we cannot simply cut off saying that I don't have anything to do with them. Actually, that is not that way. So we have to smoothly cross over this bridge, what is called as the runam. Runam means what? Has come in through birth and blood, actually. Birth, blood. The third thing is what is called as affection in simple sense. If these three things are there on any particular dimension, then there is a runam is there. And that has its own dynamics. Why somebody came in your life as a father, why somebody came as a mother, why is this jiva who is a dog has become so attached to you and had to leave you. These are all very complex questions actually, but there is definitely an interrelationship with both the sides, and that's the reason they have come in our life or we have come into their life. And when the time is getting over, then the departures are happening actually. Got it. So to solve this mystery, this is a mystery. And to solve this mystery, where we should go? We should go to Kashi. We have to go to Bhairavar. Because he is the specialist for this. And when we spoke about these individuals and we are very complex in nature. As I said, that we already have a previous history that we are carrying since time immemorial through various janmas that we have taken, that which we are undergoing now, partly for various, for the satkarmas that we have done, we are undergoing all the good things, and maybe the bad karmas that we have done, the episodes, the unfortunate episodes that are unveiling in our life, and we are working on it. Again, actions and reactions are continuing in different dimensions and leading to what is called as punarapi maranam, punarapi jananam. We are getting into that cycle. The birth and the death cycle is continuing in various ways for us actually, because the human life is all about emancipation, because nobody wants to suffer. Nobody will say that, okay, fine, suffering is the only way, so that I will not get a next birth, so let me sit and suffer. Nobody is going to do that actually. We always have that human emancipation, and we want to work on emancipation to make our lives better actually. So because of making it better, we'll end up again doing actions and reactions. And this is the concept that is going in various ways. So now the Kashi Mahima is talking, the Mahatmyam of Kashi, the text is very clearly saying, very explicitly it's saying, though all the people who are related in our life, they might be as close as to us, or they have a very special place, but please remember, they have their own stories. They have what is called as their own papam and punyam karmas. Correct or no? At the end of the day, they were also human beings, and they had their own stories. They had their own resolvements. They had things to do by themselves. So we do not know how they have been measured in what is called as the beam balance of dharma. Okay, when the weight balance have to happen. So when these people who are related to us in our life, who have played a very significant role in our lives, and when they quit their body and when they reach the next dimensions of life, it is our duty, being present in the world, to help them to bridge to go to the other world actually. That's what the Kashi Mahima is talking about. And when the Kashi Mahima is explaining that, it is talking the explanations. Maybe I think, if I have to, when I read itself, it was like, it was like when the visualizing and everything was very terrific, actually, honestly. Let me try to put it as simplified, as quick as possible. When the soul is quitting this body in this world, and it is traveling to the next world, actually, the very next world, as I told you, is where the soul has to go, which is the next immediate lokam. Yes. Pitruloka. That is the station. That is a think that is the next railway station for us actually. Immediate railway station. From there only we will change the trains actually. There only we will be getting what is called as the gate pass. To whatever we have done, we will go there. But to go to that lokam, to the Pitrulokam, to go to that Pitrulokam, in the middle, when the soul has to travel, there is something called as the Vaitarani river, the Vaitarani Nadi. And Vaitarani Nadi is the celestial Nadi. That is, it is the cosmic river that separates the earth boundary to the celestial boundary. So now this river, since it's a celestial river, it has two broad dimensions, it seems. Okay? I'm putting it in very simple sense. One, for the right individuals who have done satkarmas in their lives, and the next, it is for the people who have done bad karmas in their life. For the people who have done satkarma, the river is a very soothing river, and it is a nectar-like water. The water is just like amritam, and they can easily cross the river, it seems. And if they are much more bhagyashali, or if they have done much more punyashali, when they have to cross the river from here itself, they will get what is called as a boat service actually. You just take it as a boat service, based on their own satkarma. Okay. So they can easily sit in that boat and they can travel. Other words, what is called as here, once when this is happening, once when this is done, there is something called as the Godhanam, the children or their family members will do, it seems. Okay. Or maybe in their lifetime itself, they will do, it seems. The individual itself will do. Otherwise, the children or their family members will do. Once this, they will do the 11 days of Karyam, right? The 11 days, they will spread the Antima Samskara Karyams are done for 11 days, basically, in the tradition. We will look into all these things maybe later, actually, like why 11 days, what is the concept and everything. So this 11 days, during that time, the traveling that is taking place, so this Godhanam is done because that Go Mata they will catch hold of the tail of the Go Mata so that it is easy for them to cross that Nadi. Actually, that's the reason they do this Godhanam. Of course, in today's time, everything has become very commercial and everything, and to do a Godhanam and all, it takes like almost like more than 50,000 to 1 lakh and all. It is happening, I guess, and it is all not easy dimension. That's the reason, what my guru will say. Nama sollidu, you tell the Nama of Bhagavan Nama sollu, very firmly he will say. Ambaluடைய நாமாவை சொல்லு. You take the name of Bhagavati. That is the one who is, that Bhagyashali, the Bhagyavan, who has done Nama Japa, who has taken the Nama, who has done Stotram of Devi, who has done the Stotram of Bhagavan, have to not undergo all these dimensions, actually will be able to easily cross the dimensions and go through the next world easily, because here itself, when the Shariram has to quit, when the Shariram has to quit the soul and the soul is segregating, Devi will send her own celestial assistance, and then there will be a red carpet that will be laid to you, and they will hold you nicely with all the upachara maryadas, and they will take you into what is called as the celestial ratham that will come, and then you can directly travel there, and unnecessarily you don't have to go through these, this bhayankaras of life actually. So that's the reason, keep telling the Nama, that is what is going to come along with you. Our bank balance, the cloth that we are wearing also, that is not going to come along with us. Actually, we are going on talking about being attached to everything. Nothing is going to come with us, including the Shariram. So please tell Nama that is the only thing that is going to come along with us in a very, very strict manner. Gurunatha has advised, actually, all of us. It's not just for me, it's for everybody of us. So that Nama should be continuously said, actually, because we do not know when the last moment is coming, and that last moment, what we are going to think, how we are going to behave, what is going to run in my mind, what is going to come out of me is very important. And that's the reason there's a kind of a preparation. There's a constant preparation. And this is what is all about the Indian society. We are always concerned about when we have something, we don't want to enjoy it today. Yes or no? We want to enjoy it tomorrow. Let us keep it for tomorrow. Though the today's generation have a different dimension about enjoyment of life, which is totally fine, but they are also coming there slowly. We want to save it things, and that saving comes from this primary argument. Actually, we want to save the nama of Bhagavan. We want to save the nama of Devi, so that it is acting upon it for me later. And that's the reason, particularly if you look into the Vaishnava traditions, the acharyas of Vaishnava tradition have beautifully sung, Appodaiki Ippode Solli Veiten Arangama Nagarulane. I do not know whether what will come out of my mind, what my mind will think at that moment. So I am telling now itself and keeping it as a storehouse for you. So you make sure that you use it. All the namas that I am telling it, you use it so that I can cross over this bridge. I can cross over the Runanubandham, I can cross over the Vaina Nadi, I can reach you safely actually. So coming back, this Vaina Nadi, those who have been adharmis, for them, it will be a river full of blood, mucus, urine actually. And it will be boiling heat of water actually, and intensified with very terrific, monstrous creatures, worms, vultures, and sinners are dragged to it through the Nadi actually. And it is a very terrific swim for them actually. And the currents, it is not easy also, because it's such a disgusting thing. In that disgust, you have all these elements, all these creatures, and you have to go through the painful current of passing it, and it is not easy. And that it is what is called as 100 yojana. 100 yojana means miles. Yojana is a Sanskrit term. You keep it as kilometers or whatever. It has 100 yojana between Earth and the next station actually. And it is considered that the soul will take 13 days to travel the river actually. That's the reason we have the 13-day period actually. We have a 13-day mourning period, yes or no? 11 or 13 days, it depends upon traditions. So it is considered to be 11 or 13 days it takes to cross that actually for the soul. And that's the reason those 11 days are considered to be dukkha anushtana. We will be not doing any mangala karyam, and there will be a lot of dukkham. So, and that dukkham is what? The dukkham is supposed to be prayers for them to cross that river actually. We say dukkham, but we'll be nicely eating, going to office, coming and doing all things. And people will say that, what people will say, the only dukkham for those 13 days is they will not do any puja part actually. I am not doing any puja because in days we have issues actually. That is the time where you have to invoke Bhagavan Nama for them actually. Yes or no? Along with all the other karyams that the Shastram is mentioning, whatever yata sthanam, tata shaktihi, yata buddhihi, yata smritihi, as the Shastra, whatever however you get the guidance, however you can do it, whatever your paddhati, whatever the family background and everything is there, you should be able to invoke Bhagavan Nama for them actually. That is the Shakti at least that will reach them. Now the Shastram is telling some people cannot cross those river in those 13 days, it seems. They are stuck there. Okay. Or it might take larger time for them, more time for them. Or maybe they have crossed and they are waiting in the Pitru station. Pitru Lokam, they are waiting because why? They are not having sufficient, the time has not, the right time has not come for them, but the soul has, the time has come for end for the body, but not for the soul. There's a two concept is there. The concept of body, the concept of soul. Maybe the body has become, Sharira Leenam has happened. That is the body has become not capable of having the soul. So therefore, the body and the soul has become separate. For example, we have what is called the concept of the Durmaranam also. Durmaranam means before the time will come, people will die. For example, accidental death, for example, suicidal, maybe that is not the time, but still they have left. So what will happen? There are many theories are there actually. They escape and come. That's the reason they will be like devils and atmas and everything. There's that concept is there. We will talk about it. I think my class is becoming like kind of a one YouTube podcast today, actually. But I can't help. That is the way the Kashi Mahima is coming out to us. So let me focus on the Shastra. So those so that they are waiting in that station, Pitru station, they are waiting. So the Kashi Mahima is saying that they are waiting there. We do not know how long they are going to wait because it is their karma they are dealing with. But since we are associated with them, every year, one time they can visit us, it seems, till the time they are that Pitruloka station. They can visit us. And which is that date? That is the tithi on which they have quit their body. And that's the reason in that particular day or that particular Amavasya cycle we do, right? The Amavasya cycle, we do what is called as, whatever the Acharam Paddhati we know, we do what is called as the Pitru Tarpana or the Pitru Puja, where we simply make some offerings of whatever they like. We keep some clothes and we give it away to elders, whatever otherwise you call a Purohit and you do, there is different cultures for different traditions and different people from different backgrounds. So they do the dimensions actually. Now further the Kashi Mahima is saying, if we don't do it, if we don't do that Pitru Tarpanam or we don't remember the Pitrus, and in that particularly the first year we are supposed to do it on every Amavasya cycle, we have to invoke them, it seems, some whatever the little we can do, we are invoking them and we are praying for their well-being. Actually, the thing is that the people say that we are invoking these prayers for the departed soul because we want to seek their blessings. But honestly, that is one small part only. We are only actually helping them to go through the next dimensions of life, actually. As what is called as as a mark of respect and tribute for them, actually. So coming back, so that one day when they are coming, to see us as souls, they are coming down to see us. And when we are not doing it, if they are really good people, if they are very really good people, they will go with a lot of sorrow in their being, it seems. See, they have totally forgotten us and they will cry, they will feel very terrible and they will go away, it seems. But if they are really like, that SARS, that Bahu types who will come in that serial and all, they literally give curse and they will go, it seems. I've done so much. They are enjoying my property. They are enjoying my word. They are enjoying my state. They are enjoying the name and everything, but they have completely forgotten. So they will curse and go, it seems. And that curse will not actually directly fall upon us. It will fall upon the next generation in front of our eyes, it seems. And if there is no next generation, it will fall upon the things that we are involved in, it seems, because it will fall upon us. We might not realize when it fall upon us in this particular dimension, then we get actually that pain, right? So particularly the next generation, that's the reason those who are in the middle, they feel so afraid. Oh, if I'm not going to do the Pitru Tarpanam, Pitru Karyam, my child will be affected. So therefore, let me do it actually. I don't want my child to be affected. Again, we are being pulled into that dimension, affection, because we are sheerly have that affection. That's the reason we want to do it. We are not bothered whether the departed people are reaching, whatever locum they belong to and all. We are not bothered. My child nothing should happen to my child. So let me do this Pitru Karyam, whatever my family traditions are talking about. But that is not the mindset which we should, because I started the class by telling that bhav is very important actually. The bhavna is what is representing how we are progressing actually. So this explaining of this Vaitarani Nadi, and the soul crossing and the Vaitarani river appearing into two different dimensions for the Punya Atmas and the Papa Atmas. And how we here are bridging, being in this, bhulokam, how we are bridging is very important. And these are all connected in one dimension, who's called as Bhairava Swami. And the Mahima, Kashi Mahima is talking about what? Kashi Mahima is saying the one who invokes Kala Bhairava Swami, the one who performs prarthana to Kala Bhairava Swami, and you know, and can visit Kashi, performs these, these Amavasya, Tarpana, the rituals and everything that is prescribed in his traditions. However, the respects should be done for the Pitrus. They involve in it and do reach one time in the lifetime to go and perform what is called as this Kashi Tarpanam and everything, and take a holy dip in Ganga. And he or she is further having this, what is called as the Sat Karma or the Sat Dharshana of Bhagavati or Bhagavan Anugraham is there, then their Runanubandham is very nicely, it is bridged actually. They are nicely bridged. Their bridge is, their bridge is not burnt, but their bridge is nicely, it is, it opens up nicely. Just like think about the London Bridge. You remember that you have heard about London Bridge is falling down. It is not falling down. London Bridge is opening. It opens up actually. You are no more connected together. That Runanubandham is nicely taken away by Swami actually. And how it is saying the Kala Bhairava, who is Sakshat Parameshwara himself. So we invoke the departed soul, and during this 1 year of time, if not in Kashi, at least in any of the Shiva Kshetram, wherever they are located, you go and have darshan of the Shiva. And also in Shiva Kshetram, Bhairava Swami will also be there. So you have the darshan of Bhairava Swami, and you light what is called as a Yama Deepam, which is otherwise called as the Moksha Deepam, and followed by Annam mixed with, Thilam, the black till, the sesame seeds mixed with rice. You offer that to the crow specifically, and you invoke, when you're offering that, you invoke the departed soul, then this is what the entire Purana, various aspects of Purana is describing, and at least this should be done so that the runam, or what is called as the actual duty, that we have towards these departed souls are done in a very specific manner, or done in the accepted manner within the traditions. And that is the reason the Kashi Mahima talks about this particular thing. For father, it is the Amavasya Tarpanam, and for the mother, it is the Paurnami Vratam that is basically done for when it comes to the from that is the patriarchal and the matriarchal sides, the father's side and the mother's side. It is either the Amavasya or the Paurnami. Why it is Amavasya and Paurnami? Because the Kashi Mahima is further saying that there is 15 days of Tithi. We have 15 days is the way that Tithi has been divided. And this Tithi is in relationship between the distance between what is called as the Chandra Devata and Surya Devata. And Chandra Devata is considered to be the Adipati for the parents' side, the father's side actually. The father's side. Pitrukaraka, Atmakaraka. That is what the Shastram is talking. Surya is considered to be the Pitrukaraka and the Atmakaraka. And who is the Adi Devata of Surya Devata? Parameshwara is the Adi Devata of the Surya Devata. And the Swarupa Lakshanam is heat, obviously. And similarly, for Chandra Devata, the personality is all about cooling, and Chandra Devata is Matrukaraka. Matrukaraka, in other words, the Adi Devata is Parvati. So during the Amavasya, they are coming together, and during the Paurnami, they are seeing each other. There's correct now. During Paurnami, the concept is they are looking at each other, and in Amavasya, they're coming together actually. So this is that concept of that what is called as the Shiva Shakti Aikya Tattva in the Prapancham, and that is the foundation how this entire Prapancham is working. The coolness and the heat, coming together, which produce this cosmic vibrations, and that cosmic vibration is what is bringing that stability through these 15 days of the waxing and the waning. And that has a direct impact on our being, ourself. And this has a relationship with those who have departed, because we are connected with them through body and our blood. And because of the reactions that can happen, unknown reactions, it has an impact on us. And that is taken over by these tithis. The tithis in terms of moods, followed by, the karmas, the moods, and then action reactions. Now you understand the chain, how it is coming up. Yes or no? Got. So that's the reason honoring the departed souls in our life, particularly on that Amavasya, is something very important. Now the question, if somebody is going to ask, how should I honor them? Correct, na? See, if you are really ritualistic and the traditions of your family, what needs to be done and everything, you should be able to do it in that particular dimension. As I told you, yata sthanam tata shakti, like however you know it, you have to do it, you do it. But now somebody is saying that I don't know and XYZ and all. I would say simply on the Amavasya day and Paurnami day, simply dedicate some 5 minutes the way you did some, Shanti Prarthana for them, do it at least. That's the most simple thing I'm telling you actually. I'm not, the Shastram is talking about doing certain things for them, which is very true. But at least this should be done. At least keeping this rice, this tila annam, you invoke that tila annam, keep it for the crow, moksha deepam, these are small things which the Shastram itself is talking about actually. And then the complicated things, it goes in very different ways. They talk about performing tarpanam and calling the Brahmanas and Brahmana Bhojanam and everything. That is all, it all depends upon Shraddha, Bhakti, Maryada, and everything that goes in different ways actually. But at least the basics is very clearly mentioned in the Kashi Mahima. So this Chandra Surya Devata, the Adipati is actually Parvati and Parameshwara, as we understand Bhairava and Bhairavi, because everything is happening within the dimensions of time. Yes or no? Tithi, Nakshatra, Graha, Rashi, and everything is in relationship with the time actually. So we are surrendering to the time itself actually. When we are surrendering to the time, when we are invoking the time will take care. The time has the power, as we say, time has the power to heal. What does it mean? This is what it basically means. And as far as we are concerned, now that you have known this profound truth, it is our duty to take care of ourselves. And the best thing, as I told you, is that you have to do this japam. Bhagavan Nama is our fundamental right, actually. You get initiation into mantras and everything, that all fine. But the Bhagavan Nama, that is fundamental for us, actually. No, even to say Ramanama, Krishna Nama, you take it from the Guru. Ramanama Diksha is also there. That is what the Shastra. You take it from the teacher to chant, but you don't have to wait until there. You start. Whether the Diksha is coming or not and all, we will see. But you say it and keep it. You keep saying at least. Bhagavan Nama is the only thing that can save us. Students, please remember this. At the end, nothing is going to come except for Bhagavan Nama. Ambaluடைய நாமம் மாத்திரம் நம்ம கூட வரப்போகுது. Ambal, you keep saying her Nama. You keep saying her Nama wherever you are. That is what is the repository of bank balance that you're doing for yourself. Nothing is going to come again and again. I'm saying to you, you know it, but you don't realize it. That's the reason we are stuck here. But do the japam. And if you're blessed and if you have a mantra diksha, you have found the Guru has given the mantra, invoke the mantra. Don't think of doing prayogams of the mantra. The best prayogam that we can do is to cross the Vaitarani river. Yes or no? Otherwise, imagine getting stuck there. Can't even imagine. Actually, I could have made it much more petrifying for each one of you by explaining the graphics and the details actually. And I would ask Obanama to create one presentation on that actually. AI presentation, how it can be to cross through that Vainadi river. It is that terrific description is there. I think if we put that description itself, the AI can bring in what can happen actually. The crossing that river. It is that terrific, I'm telling. Let us not do this to ourselves. Let us protect ourselves. And this is the best way Kashi Mahima is talking about is Bhagavan himself, Bhairavar himself is telling us, Bhagavan Nama is very important. And that is not just for us, but also for those who have departed and those who are there in your family. You know one thing I've told in the class, the one who is performing Devi Upasana, the 7 generations before, then the 7 generations next will get the benefit of that by the individual who is doing it actually. So you are doing a great thing for not just for yourself, but for the previous ones and the after ones actually. And if the blessed, the next within the 7 generation, if somebody will take up because you have that vasana, it will definitely travel to somebody in the family. They will take it up actually. When the right time will come, they will take it up. It will not die out. That is what Devi's ultimate satyam that she has done actually for the jivas. When the Kali, when the Kali, they very intelligently, our forefathers have asked this question, we have understood this Kali, this is the way this Kali is, how we will be, if even I forget, because of my karma, if I am going to forget, what will happen? Then Devi will promise this actually. Somebody will do it. And you are that one, I guess, actually, in the blood lineage. And it is your responsibility, or rather it is our collective responsibility to deliver ourselves from this particular space and this particular dimensions. And all those who were previously before us, 7 generations, those who are there, it seems that the 3 generations are waiting. The Kashi Mahima is talking about 3 generations are waiting, it seems, in that particular space, in the Pitrulokam, if they have not been delivered. And then the next generations, your children and other children, other your related, your blood close, the first blood related children, of your sisters or brothers or who's everybody's combination. So you are doing this, not just for yourself. There's a huge repository of punyam that you're storing it for the previous and the after ones. And that the Mahima is very explicitly mentioning it actually. So take this as a responsibility. Forget about all the fancies that is associated with sadhana. If I'm going to do mantra japam, am I going to get car, bungalow, this, that? Anyway, you will get all these things if you are on the dharma, the path of dharma. You don't have to invoke Devi for this. Trust me. You just do what you are supposed to do. You be on the path of dharma. You will get everything according to your karma. Maybe you want to make your karma better. Then you have to invoke all these things actually. Please give up all the fancy ideas that about mantra japam, sadhana, and everything. That is the reason it is called as Vidya, Mahavidya, Shri Vidya, Kama Sevita. Very important lesson I am giving to all of you. And please take it. Please take it very seriously. I'm asking you to do 5 minutes. All those who are newcomers, those who are doing sadhana in a very systematic manner, very thankful. You know, that is the reason the guru is very important here, particularly because the guru is what? The guru is the one who is bridging, actually, it seems. The guru is the one who is bringing the soul, bringing the shishya, bringing the jiva, how it is. Today I am requesting, tomorrow I might shout. You understand? Day after tomorrow, I might instruct. Some or the beg, borrow, steal. That is the story here. But asking this student to do it actually. Sa, Gana, Beda, Dandam. That is the way it works in actually. So please invoke Bhagavati because we are in the Shakta traditions. Please invoke Bhagavati. That is what I would say. Equally, Bhagavan Nama, Rama Nama, Krishna Nama, Shiva Nama, any Nama, that is a Brahma Chaitanyam again. That Brahma Chaitanyam is again Bhagavati only for me. So any Nama, Bhagavan Nama is the one which the Kashi Mahima is very specifically talking. And that we are looking from the Shaktaya traditions. It is Devi, Sundari, Durga, Kali, however you want to see her. You invoke 5 minutes, you invoke, particularly on if you're going to invoke day, then Amavasya and Paurnami is also coming in the way, and it is invoked for your forefathers. So this is what Kashi Mahima is talking about, particularly for the deliverance of the Pitrus and how Kashi is becoming a centered space and what we are supposed to do and how Kala Bhairava is bridging these concepts and how he's bringing us closer towards our own goals and also helping us to fulfill the responsibilities that we have. That's the reason Kala Bhairava has a very special space in our tradition, actually. We are all fascinated because of this. And this fascination, you go and show him in the right way. All those who are having the fascination of Kala Bhairava in our Mahavidyalaya, please show it in this particular way, because this is what he's appreciating and that is what is mentioned here, actually, in the Kashi Mahima. And within even the Kala Bhairava Tantra and all, this is what it's very clearly talking about, how he's bridging these gaps and how he's bringing the sadhaka closer to these dimensions, because Kala Bhairava wants us to, in a very systematically way, cut off this Runanubandham, because unless and until will not cut off this Runanubandham, let me tell you, all your sadhana that you're doing, it will be a Satkarma. Again, you have to come back to this world. Do you really want to come back to this world? Maybe you will be born as Aishwarya Rai, or maybe you will be born as Ambani, but still you have to be born in this world, and again you have to give up, actually. And don't think that Aishwarya Rai or Ambani's life is much better than your life. We never know what are the that they are facing for their levels of life that they are leading, actually. So the idea is not to come back to this material world. And if that is the sankalpam that you are having, or that is a sankalpam as a guru I am teaching you, as a teacher I am teaching you, this is the right sankalpam that you are supposed to hold on for this vidya, that you don't want to come back to this world, number one. And number two, when you quit this body, you quit it in the proper manner, correct manner, and the known manner. And the third thing, what is it all about with these two ideas, how to do this in a very systematic manner, being in this very much in this world and travel to the next dimensions, actually. And this is what is our Mahavidyalaya all about. And this is what we are teaching here. And this is what we want to practice. And this is what we are preaching here. Please take this very seriously. And I want you to start the japa, not tomorrow, right away after this class. Make this sankalpam for yourself, that every day, at least 5 minutes, those who are not doing it, actually, at least for 5 minutes, let me do. Now that I know the value of doing this, let me do it. And those who are doing it, those who have been doing systematic sadhana, now you understand the importance of this japam. It is having a very larger dimension. Your mind is so limited. You are thinking in a very narrowed sense, but it has a much, much larger dimension, even beyond what I spoke the last 45 minutes. So please take it very seriously. Thank you so much. The next class, I will continue with Ganga Mahima, and a very interesting story will unfold in this is Maharaja Chakravarti Bali story in relation with Kashi will unfold along with the stories of Ganga Mata. Thank you so much. Let me end the session with Mangalam. सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरि नारायणि नमोऽस्तुते जयन्ती मङ्गला काली भद्रकाली कपालिनी दुर्गा क्षमा शिवा धात्री स्वाहा स्वदा नमोऽस्तुते ॐ शान्तिः 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 सर्वं श्रीचण्डी महालक्ष्मी अर्पणमस्तु तथास्तु. Thank you so much. Namaskaram. See you in the next class.
Namaskar.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji. Namaskar, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you, Guruji.
Namaskaram,
Thank
Guruji.
you,
Thank you,
Guruji.
Guruji.
Namaskaram,
Thank you,
Guruji. Thank you.
Guruji.